G'day, it's Phil from Marine Rescue Hawkesbury. Tips and tricks. Been a little while since we put out a video. It's probably about time. Yeah, so this week's topic is isolating batteries in your boats. And while every vessel is different, if you're not quite sure, maybe check your vessel's operating manual or even your service centre and ask for that advice. So, why in general practice when you go to a marina to refuel, they get you to turn the batteries off? Generally speaking, they're trying to avoid any potential source of ignition, igniting that fuel vapour and causing an explosion and fire. And that fuel vapour, of course, it's heavier than air and it tends to settle into the bilges of your boat. So some of you may have heard that there's this old school thought about isolating batteries during refueling can actually cause an explosion. Well, there's actually some truth to this, but it's dependent on the type of battery switch that you use. And some of you may have seen battery switches a bit like this. You unscrew the green knob and it would disconnect your battery. Those contacts are exposed to the surrounding air, and also if it's in a fuel vapor rich environment, those contacts are also in contact with that air and that vapor. So when you open or close those contacts, they can spark, and that mere spark can actually cause an explosion. And that switch closing near a battery where the battery is releasing hydrogen gas, that can cause an explosion as well. So these old switches are really not suited for use in the marine environment. They're potentially dangerous, can potentially ignite fuel vapor. So some of you may have looked at some of your switchgear in your modern vessels and have seen the words ignition protected. So this is an example of a modern battery switch, and on the back of it, it says ignition protected. Your circuit breakers, many of them in your switch boxes will state ignition protected. So what is ignition protected? It's essentially hermetically sealed, which means that when the contacts make or break and creates that spark is isolated from the surrounding air, which may contain fuel vapor. So it drastically reduces the potential for source of ignition, hence ignition protected. So if the switch is not labelled as such, you can't assume that it's ignition protected. So if you do have any of these old switches and you want to improve the safety of your vessels, have a think about whether to swap these out for ignition protected switches. So hope you enjoyed that short video, and just remember, as always, when you head on out there, log on with Marine Rescue when you head out, log off when you head back in. Thanks everyone.